For us, it's about living as awakened of a state as you can be. We really try to just throw ourselves into experience, become one with it, embrace it, and your life becomes more seamless, more effortless. You kind of go with the flow more. Just so nice. In the entree section, my name's Ben Smith. Grew up in Chicago, about to be 29 years old. My job is being a waiter at this nice restaurant. I'm a resident here at the Chicago Zen Center. Been here now for about 4 years or so. It's hard to tell a story about that on some level. I guess I just found that this is kind of just the way I roll. It's just kind of natural for me to fall into practice. You know, I was in college and I was kind of anxious, a little bit depressed, going through one of those whole what does it all mean kind of episodes. I couldn't paper it over anymore with distractions. I really needed to get down to it to really figure it out. Eventually you picked up this one book by Thich Nhat Hanh and read it, and boom, immediately something made a lot of sense to me there. I was like, oh wow, I've never, read anything about this that explains life in this way. And it just seemed so right, like that, But then you get to a point where you've realized that all you've been doing is reading about practicing, but not practicing yourself. And so there's always a point at which you have to just make that leap from ideas to reality, or from talking about it to actually doing it. The big leap is really making it to a center like this where there's a real practice.
What we offer here is a place where people can practice Zen meditation. So this is very much an American form of Zen Buddhism. What I think is attractive is it doesn't require a lot of theory. What it does is require a commitment to practice, that one engage in meditation, and that's it. It's really, really simple. We are really short on theory. We don't talk a lot about this. I mean, if people have questions, we'll answer them. But at the end of the day, we always come back to the point of, we'll come and practice.
We practice because we're looking for transformation. And so we can read 1,000 books and we can debate theory for the rest of our lives. That does not change our lives.
Our practice in Japanese is called shikantaza. Just to let all that stuff, all that imaginary stuff, those stories and everything, just let that settle out. If you let that settle, it clarifies. I mean, you're able to see.
That's the heart of Buddhist teaching, is how do we practice? How do we see the rise of our emotions, our senses, our skandhas, and how do we see them dissipate and move on? Zazen is enlightenment. It is our practice.
The technique's fairly simple. You sit still, back straight, hands in your lap. You follow your breath, try to center it on that. If a thought comes, you bring it back, that kind of thing. But what happens is anything but that, at least at first, and even after meditating for years, because we're thinking all the time. One Zen teacher, I can't remember who it was, said thoughts are like the secretions of the mind, just how a stomach secretes acid, for example. It's just what the brain does. You can keep it there for a little bit of time, but then all of a sudden, boom, it goes off. What you have to do is say, oh, I went off, bring it back to the breath. Slips away again, oh, bring it back. Slips away again, bring it back. And the mind can be very tricky. For example, you're sitting there and all of a sudden, wow, you're in a deep, nice, focused stage. But then, I don't know, a fire engine goes by and all of a sudden you think, oh, a fire, wow, I wonder where that is. My neighbor's house caught on fire that one time. He went to Northwestern University. Oh, Northwestern's football team just got a new coach, right? All of a sudden you are so far from being focused in the moment on the breath. And you don't even see this happening because you're so used to thinking that it just takes you on this ride, The idea is that you want to train your mind not to go along with these thoughts, to keep coming in, to keep bubbling up into your awareness. You want to own those thoughts. You don't want to go with those thoughts. You kind of just let them come and let them go. And then you start to realize they have less power over you, and you don't have to say okay to them. You don't have to go along with them. And then that really is powerful, because then you're not bound by all these thoughts, fears, feelings, emotions that come up. You can just, let them go.
Zen is the simplest form, the most distilled form, I would say, of Buddhist practice. It's something everybody can plug into, no matter what your walk of life is. Because the basic problem that Buddhism identifies, that most of us live our lives complaining about our lives. It's too hot, it's too cold, I don't have enough money, I lost my girlfriend. All those things that we do are human problems. Every one of us is wrapped up in our suffering in one way or another. And Buddhism teaches there's an end to that suffering. And that end to suffering is realized through meditative practice. So that message isn't American or Japanese or Thai. That's a human message.
Zen presents you with a tool that will allow you to come to a clarity, or a clarity to occur, that will let you see that for what it is.
That's what Zen is. How do we learn to cling to absolutely nothing?
We'll feel more peaceful, more at ease. We'll have some kind of sense of well-being, just on like even a physical level. But it goes deeper than that. We're not just, taking a break from life for 25 minutes when we have a round of sitting. We're really trying to, I guess we're trying to wake up.
Wake up to reality. Zen is simply waking up to reality.